Yeah.
Not in its entirety.
I've watched it like 4 times. It's rough.
I've always just watched reviewers or comedy reviewers doing it.
Oh, it's rough, man. Like for the first like 40 minutes, you're like, oh yeah, this is dumb and funny, and then there's another like hour, and you're like, oh, you start dying because it's bad.
You die right around the time Grandpa
He watches the
starts
porn.
watching porn.
Yeah.
That's when you check out.
At least that's funny, you know. It's the parts where it's like, here's a cantina and they're gonna sing a song about love.
That was the best part.
No!
Be Arthur!
The best part is fucking, blood and gore, intense violence, nudity.
Strong language, sexual content.
Bad frame rate.
Now run.
Look at that motion. Look at that fucking smearing on the edges of the screen. Stay human. Oh.
Hello guys, nice to meet you. I'm Leah, and this is Dying to Know. If you're dying to know what's going on in the world of Dying Light 2, then
I had a
you're in
frame
the
rate
right
spike.
place. Here we'll be showing you all the news, the latest from the Dying Light world. We'll be announcing a few contests, we'll be talking to developers, and probably most importantly, we're going to be showing you a brand new gameplay trailer where you can see the current state of the Dying Light 2
So it's not
game.
coming out for a long time.
First,
What you're
there's
telling
someone
me.
here I need to introduce you to. It's Aidan Caldwell.
I'm a pilgrim, an outcast, roaming like a Japanese Ronin or an Old West desperado. My past is dark, but my future has a tiny, dying light at the end of this tunnel. Hello, guys. My name is Jonah Scott, and I voice Aidan Caldwell in Dying Light 2. But before that, I'm going to host this program with Leia, if you don't mind.
My pleasure. Well, I'm ready. Jonah's definitely ready. And I hope you're ready.
So if you're dying to know,
Oh
just
my
like
God,
us,
the buffering is
stick
real
with
on
us.
this.
The story told in Dying Light 2 occurs 20 years after the events of the first game. And if you're wondering
20
what
years.
happened in those intervening 20 years,
Oh, I
well,
just
there's
got
no
lag
better
spikes,
person
yeah.
to ask than the Dying Light 2 world director, Thomas Gabao, with who I'll be talking in just a moment.
And after that, I'll be speaking with Piet Jemenic, the narrative director of the game, about the characters that appear in Dying Light 2.
I'm
Welcome
sorry,
to
you
the
guys
show,
aren't
Thomas.
keeping my
So the
attention.
first question I have for you today is, do I need to have played Dying Light 1 to sort of understand what's happening in Dying Light 2?
No, actually, you don't. Like you mentioned before, a
That's
game
not
takes
what she
place
said,
in 20 years
subtitles.
later.
Thank you.
And well, humankind has lost the war to the virus. So,
Right.
in a way, you could say that Dying Light 2 takes us to the world beyond the apocalypse.
Intriguing. All right, tell me more, please.
Well, you
The
might
green
know
screen
Eric
background
in
looks pretty
2014.
good.
Well, after that, world leaders, they had a tough choice to make. They had to isolate the city of Harran.
Right.
For that, they created an exclusion zone. Like in
Harran.
Chernobyl, only a lot more people were left
They're
to die
Polish,
inside
leave them
walls.
alone.
Yeah, right. So they just isolated the entire city. And did it help? Did it stop the virus?
Yeah, for a while it worked. Enough for everyone to forget about it, at least. Only in secret, a handful of scientists continued to study the virus.
Yeah, we
You know,
forgot all
manipulating
about
its DNA, creating new strains. They were looking for commercial military
Roger
applications.
Craig
So,
Smith
they're
turning into
doing
a
it for
zombie
money,
and
really.
infecting
Yeah,
everybody.
of course. So what happened next?
Well, next, the shit hit the fan. By Christmas 2021, one of these mutated strains escaped from a level 4 laboratory located near Geneva. We don't really know if this was accidental or not, but this time the virus was much faster than any government. Before the world could react, civilization was on the brink of collapse. People were dying in the streets, capital cities were burning.
Why'd you pick
By the end of
2021?
2023, 98% of the population had been lost
Because
to the virus.
2020.
There was a few settlements remaining, but only one city was still standing.
Isn't it a little bit too
The last
real
bastion of
to start
mankind.
doing that?
Or city, Villador, aka the city.
Right, so Villador is what we have left. So that's everything that's happened outside of the city. What actually happens inside Villador?
Well, the city has unique rules. First of all, it's surrounded by seemingly impassable walls. And inside the walls, the people decided to use a radical new weapon against the infection.
Oh.
Which actually gave
Guns.
them the upper hand in the first stages of the pandemic. But it also created terrifying new monster archetypes. 15 years on, a new equilibrium sort of emerged in the city. By daylight,
I swear, if they
factions
just show
fight
us the same
control the
gameplay
city,
thing from
and at night, the streets
2019,
become the realm of these bloodthirsty, infected monsters.
Great. Well, that is extremely interesting. Thank you very much, Thomas. And we'll be hearing more about the vibrant and fantastic city soon, I hope. But first, I think we need to hear a little bit more about the characters.
the characters.
Our second guest is a man of two industries, cinema and gaming. In a previous life, he wrote the hit HBO series Wataha?
Wataha, yeah.
Wataha. And then he moved on to
Never
Techland to
seen it.
become a narrative director. Piotr Jamenek.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
So we have plenty of time to talk about the rest of the characters in Dying Light 2. There are tons of them. But today, I think we want to focus on Aiden Caldwell, the protagonist. You want to talk more about him? Or?
Protagonist.
Yeah, sure. So,
This is
Aiden,
one of those
he's the member
reactions
of Outcasts, you know?
that I'll be
the
playing
group
at,
of
like,
people
double
traveling
speed.
through this dangerous world of Dying Light 2 called
Well, like
Pilgrims,
from other
because
people?
he's looking for his relative. The person whom he lost
I'd play it at
many,
double
many years
speed
ago.
because there's not
and
much here.
that person is his
And I'm
only memory from the
kinda
past.
falling
And
asleep
the only
watching.
answer
I hate
to
these
whom Aiden
talking
really is.
head
Aiden is
things.
a
Like,
really
just show
rich,
me the
deep
game.
Character, very much cooler than I am.
Oh,
but,
no, come on.
I mean,
We'll see
they
the-
set
setup.
up buildings, jump from
They set
rooftop
up
to
this whole
rooftop,
thing.
use all kinds
I
of
mean-
weapons.
Yeah, well, you
Like,
know,
this
he
gameplay
didn't
they
have
keep
much
showing is
choice.
from
This world is
2019.
full of infected, bloodthirsty creatures, so he didn't have much choice, right? The weak die, the strong survive, and Aiden, he just has
I mean,
to
this
be
is a great
strong.
looking setup.
But why did he come like that?
Like, this set's
Why,
cool.
why him? That's the main question of the game, and the player will have opportunity also to decide how Aiden will evolve. Will
But
he
nothing's
help
grabbing
the
my
weak?
attention.
Will it distract him from his main goal? Or maybe he will just strive to the end of his search as soon as possible.
I can't imagine trying to survive.
I'm gonna
live
assume
in
they're
a
not
city
even gonna
like
say
that
the
as a lone wolf by
date it
yourself
comes out
without
this
any kind
stream.
of support.
They
Well,
would have said,
he's
like,
not gonna
and
be
maybe
alone,
even a
you know,
release
he will need
date.
many people. But again, depending on the player choices, some of them
hey,
will
more
become
footage
his
from
allies,
racing.
but some of them will become his enemies. One of the group he will encounter are the Night Runners, the former special force officers who were sick of the army's cynicism and lack of concern for common people. But they were brave enough to help the people during the night. And the night, as you know, is pretty horrifying in the game.
Yeah, so Aiden joins them.
I
Joins the
can't
Night
wait to
Runners.
stand on the edge
That's
of
the
a safe
question, My
zone.
friend, the player will
And
have
hit
to answer
things for
to.
XP.
I won't spoil the pleasure of discovering Aiden's actions and true motivations, but what I can share with you is the fact that we really put big effort to make this character and many others complex and multidimensional. But there is so much more to be discovered during the game.
Oh, that's fascinating. Can't wait to learn more. Thank you so much, Piotr.
Can't wait to learn more guy who voiced all the lines.
So before we watch the gameplay trailer of Dying Light 2 for the first time, we need to talk about something which is basically at the center
How
of the
about we
Dying
watch
Light
that
universe,
first and
which
then
is
talk?
The community. Over the past few years, Dying Light has amassed over 23 million players and a 95% positive review rating on Steam.
which
Yeah,
has
because
been
it's a
called
fucking incredible
overwhelmingly
game,
positive.
other
So
than the
good.
Vaseline.
We'd like to take a few seconds and thank you guys.
Thank you all for being on this journey with us. Thank you for sharing your love with others of Dying Light. And thank you for these great moments spent together. Dying Light 1 has some amazingly creative fans, which is fantastic, pardon the pun, because we're going to be starting a brand new contest which will combine your love of Dying Light with that same creativity.
With the release date of Dying Light 2 drawing ever closer, we'd like to extend our hand and invite
Release
you to make
date,
the community
eh?
a little bit
Release-
bigger. If you find
release
yourself
date.
skilled in the ways of visual arts, writing, or costumes and cosplay, please join the Dying Light universe.
I'm gonna
So
say
check
September.
out
if they say it.
dyinglightgame.com/contest, and if you win, there's a fantastic monetary prize on the line.
Monetary.
But also, there's some other great rewards you could be in with a chance with winning as well.
Like Platinum Edition of Dying Light. Look at this. This is the finest edition of Dying Light ever made. This is the Platinum
this is the thing
edition
Pewd
of
said.
Dying Light. This has every bit of content ever released for Dying Light in one place.
What about 60
It's
FPS?
massive. I mean, look at it.
For those of you who haven't experienced Dying Light yet, we are introducing Dying Light 1 Platinum Edition. It's the biggest and most complete edition to have ever existed.
And we're offering it to you now at an historically low price. All the content
Free.
most price.
There's literally no better time to buy than now, and you can get it on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Get your Platinum Edition of Dying Light now. This is the best offer, like, ever. I guess we don't have time to go over everything that's in the Platinum Edition, but it is everything. This is how it looks.
You mean all that stuff that we have?
This is how exciting this thing is. I'm sitting here playing Nier Automata fishing, and it's more exciting than what I'm watching on the screen right now.
Hey, you could go to youtube.com/scribble69 to watch a full playthrough of everything on the screen right now. Wait, there's a desert eagle? I didn't get that.
Okay, so I'm excited because you guys are, in just a second, gonna see the official gameplay trailer for Dying Light 2. And then after that, we're gonna interview some of the devs that made it possible.
So, without further ado, here it is.
Hey everyone.
Oh, now I can stop
We've
fishing.
been quiet for some time, since, like the rest of the world, we had some unforeseen hurdles to clear. But the wait is over. Let's dive into the open world of Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah, my stream just buffered for
The last slice of
oh,
Dying Light 2
beautiful.
showcased the mission from the main storyline.
Oh yes, please show me more gameplay from 2 years ago. Oh
We
yes.
saw how your decisions influenced the narrative and notably changed the environment. This time, we want to give you a broader look at the game and a sneak peek at some of the things we'll be talking about in upcoming months.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a parachute now.
In Dying Light 2, you become Aiden Caldwell, an outsider trying to unravel a tangled mystery from his past. Its trail leads him to the city,
sounds like
probably
Dishonored
the
2
last
music.
bastion of mankind in the world.
Shit!
Zombies look nice and diverse instead of there being like 3 zombies.
At first, you feel like this intense, brutal place will tear you apart. But then you meet the Night Runners, veteran survivors who help people in better days.
By the way, I'm Hakon.
You were a night runner. You used to help people, remember?
Night runners are gone. Finished. A myth.
And although it's not entirely clear you can trust them, you need allies
Oh,
in the dark.
stop buffering.
Modern Dark Ages, because there's
And
still
these
guns.
are the modern Dark Ages. It's been 15 years since the apocalypse and the world has changed. The old civilization has fallen, but a new one has been built on its ashes. People fight desperately for scarce resources. Rules are broken, and weakness is punished.
She's innocent!
3 factions struggle for position in the city. Survivors pride themselves on being able to adapt to any circumstances.
Sure does look
and
pretty.
cobble together safe zones almost everywhere. Peacekeepers, loyal soldiers who want to impose their version of law and order and trample all in their path. Renegades, ex-prisoners serving their ruthless colonel, seeking to become sole rulers of the city.
Where
Keeps
is
buffering and freezing on me.
Wolves? Make him tell.
Use these factions to reach your goal. Help or harm them to reshape the city to your liking.
I mean, whatever faction gives you guns is the faction.
Each faction contains complex characters.
Nosy Parker, ain't ya? Got some kind of bad habit of yours?
So, will you follow cold calculation or your heart?
The Bazaar needs good people. Help us and you'll find a home here.
Some in the city offer no chance for an alliance. Bandits, outlaws, and common thugs live only to plunder and kill, plunging the streets
I'll follow the
into
meta,
chaos.
thank you.
Yep. Yo, that blood looked really
Yet,
good.
Nightfall scares all of them equally.
love when my stream slows to 5 FPS and then stops.
Darkness changes the
again.
rules of the world.
Need
As
some
the
better
light
internet,
fails,
Sedge.
monsters crawl out of hiding to prey on the poor souls caught outside the safety of UV rays. Hordes of infected pour into the streets like decaying lava. The deadly spawn of 15 years of
Ooh.
mutation and evolution. Your only escape? Exploit the city's verticality and flee to the roofs.
Oh, hey, back for
Even
blood
there,
enemies.
You are never safe from swift and deadly virals.
You only escape going to sleep for 24
Oh, hey, now you
12
can actually
hours.
use your flashlight forward.
Yet night brings opportunity as well. Nests rife with infected during the day now lie empty. To explore them, you must tread carefully. But those brave enough to face the terrors of the night can loot a jackpot.
I wouldn't call that room a jackpot.
I have no clue what you're seeing because mine keeps buffering. Oh, there's the jackpot.
Luckily, you have all the tools you need to
Radioactive
survive.
goo.
Oh yeah, wall running.
Your extraordinary parkour skills allow you to navigate even the most treacherous terrain.
Is that a trampoline?
Spoilers.
On the roofs, you can count on your parkour acrobatics to save your life.
Oh, rip.
But often, you'll have to face your enemies head on. And then you have to be smart,
And now I've got an ad.
resourceful, and determined. We've worked hard on the essence of our combat, making sure swinging a big, meaty weapon is fun, satisfying, and well executed.
But is there a shotgun that I can one-shot all the enemies with?
Tactical as well. You have multiple ways to hone your skills toward
Oh yeah,
the
you can do the
gameplay style
scorpion
that
thing
suits you
now.
best. It's up to you if you focus mostly on mobility and
Oh wow,
parkour,
double brass knuckles. That looks
aggressive,
sick.
blunt force combat, or a crafty approach where the tools you've created get
Spears?
the job done. Every ability you learn can be a game changer and possibly a new favorite move.
You know, I'm hoping they get rid of the levels thing, because it would be way nicer to just kill things
move
when you hit
fast
them.
and quick in Dying Light 2. Each moment matters. Each move could mean triumph or defeat. Choose your actions and friends carefully. Everything you do in the city can reshape the gameplay environment, change the course of the narrative, and decide the fate of the city's
Oh, that
residents.
guy got fucked!
Most importantly, you decide your own fate as well.
You're about to turn.
Make sure to stay human.
Make sure to drink this purple goo.
An extensive post-apocalyptic world. And I really like that divisiveness. You know, the life on the roof and then death on the streets.
Yeah, like the intensity of the day and the night cycle together.
Yeah, it's almost like Dying Light 2 is two different games
Oh,
put
back to
together into
fishing.
one.
Yeah, like despite that, despite all the brutality going on the ground floor, there's something about like the rooftops and the plants. And
It's
stuff.
cozy.
Yeah, I kind of want to be there. But it does feel like every decision is vital. Like your choices actually do have some consequences.
Choices and consequences are incredibly vital to Dying Light 2's gameplay. And we're going to interview some devs and talk about some other very vital gameplay mechanics. Our next guest is Adrian Pizza-Shizevsky. Hi. Hi.
Welcome, and that gameplay looked awesome. I know we can't wait to get our hands on
that's
it.
a nice
but
fish.
congrats.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like you guys have a very unique world and a very unique game. Where y'all get your inspiration from?
Oh, that was a research. We did a deep dive into the history of our world, and we found repetitive patterns. We found that people use the same behaviors in the past after the fall of civilization or after the fall of the nation that's supposed to be a backbone of our world. So our approach was super simple. We just copycat those behaviors and attitudes and show you how our world would look like after the fall. However, it's kind of obvious that the main reason that civilization fall is virus pandemic or eventually the economical collapse. Yeah, that's basically the obvious thing. But it's even darker if you connect those things with the research we did at the beginning of the production. So people will question everything. They're gonna blame everything and everyone that's supposed to guide us in our lives every day. So they're gonna blame governments, they're gonna blame law, they're gonna blame science, or even religion. Some people might ask themselves that, where was God when it happened to us, basically, you know? So I feel that all of those things together creates the sensation that it's
I want a Dying Light 2 shirt, just has a 2 on it.
For our civilization.
So, Dying Light 2 has a subtitle, Stay Human. What does that mean?
Well, it's super hard to remember those values that makes us human.
It means you're gonna have to take malaria pills.
So the entire fall, those dark times we have, is a big test for everyone. And I think it's even harder test because to stay human, people would sacrifice
the whole idea is
what's
to
the most important
that,
for them, or
that
sometimes
thing.
risk their lives.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's like really intense.
You're obviously
there's,
gonna
like,
get
the obvious,
powers
like,
from
double
this loot
meaning to it,
things
which
or
is what I
whatever.
was thinking. Stay human, don't become a zombie.
Yeah, but one disclaimer, those are not zombies, you know, those are infected people that turn to be a monster. They're just crossing a line, you know, and they're turning to be a monster, you know, because in Dying Light we all infected. Yeah, we all wearing this biomarker, you know, Aiden, you're wearing this, I'm wearing this. That's a watch, actually.
That's a watch.
You know that, you know, so that's the thing. So the challenge is to not cross this line at all
We
costs.
played
So that's the biggest
Resident
challenge of staying
Evil
human in
Revelations
this
2, and we were like, oh, we like how they wear these
Not
wristbands
zombies.
to say if you're a
People
monster
cross
or
the line.
not.
Right, well, fascinating. Thank you so much, Adrian. We're definitely going to be hearing from you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
There's not enough cussing in this stream.
We have
They
with us
love
Katarzyna
cussing.
Tarnacka, the environmental art director.
Hi. And we have game designer Michal Duzak.
Hello.
So, choices and consequences.
He said hello, it said
Player has to
welcome.
make a choice, and they
Lies.
have to experience or endure the consequences. What does that mean?
Basically, the whole system of choice and consequences is really, really complex. I would say the best way to describe it is that player is making the decisions based on 3 layers. First one are the choices that you do during the main story missions. And those big changes actually can change the whole game or even how the story ends. The second layer are choices that you do while the quests. And those choices can actually influence the mission itself. And the last one, the last layer, is so-called city alignment system. And I, as an open world game designer, would like to focus on.
Please do, go on.
All right, so water and electricity are basically a key to survive in every world. By restoring it, player can not only unlock the water or electricity in the area, but he can also, based on his decision, assign it to one of the factions, which will influence how the district looks like or who's going to live inside of it. But it also, what is pretty more important for a player, unlock new tools for him, like unique tools for each factions, like car traps, zip lines, or a trampoline. That player can use in exploration to deal with bandits or infected, or simply to move faster through the city. So basically, based on your choices, you shape the game environment, which gives you a different experience every time you start a new game. And what is worth mentioning here that Dying Light 2 is playable up to 4 co-op players. So you can host the game or join other players and see
So
how their
2
choices
players
came
is what
up
you're saying.
differently to your own.
Interesting.
There's one thing I'm really curious about, though. Night versus day. How does the gameplay differ from the night and the day?
Well, the short answer is that day is for humans.
You see, at night,
is
you
for
go
the
into the
monsters.
safe house and
But
you
to
click
describe it a little bit better, I
square
would say
on a
that
bed.
During the day, humans, factions, bandits, or survivors scavenging the city and searching for some scraps or someone who might have them. And this is the best time for a player to explore the city, meet its citizens, learn the stories, day-to-day agenda, or even simply help them in a quest or open world activities to survive those dark ages.
Yeah, and that sounds quite pleasant, but I'm guessing night changes everything.
Exactly, exactly. During the night, all the infected get out of the buildings. And compared to the Dying Light 1, the night is going to be even more intense this time. intense in terms of the amount of enemies, their new types, and new, more aggressive behaviors. And what is important, this time night can mean also opportunity. An opportunity for the players who are courage and skilled enough to use the fact that all the infected are outside and buildings are accessible to explore them and search for the most valuable loot in the game.
Katarzyna, you're responsible for the post-apocalyptic look of the city. Can you tell us a little bit how about the city became to look that way?
Yes, I guess the important thing to realize is in 2025, a decision was made to use a chemical attack to stop the spread of the Haran virus. And the result is a tight ring of chemically active areas around the city. Some of the chemicals have gotten into the groundwater and spread under the surface, killing every living plant and every living thing in its reach. What it means for the city is that the street levels are virtually dead. The soil is unable to sustain any life, any plant, and the street level is a domain of the monsters, just decaying in every aspect.
Wow.
She's
So it
got
sounds
a
like there's
little
just
doggy
no
necklace.
healthy organic life down there at all.
Not really. The survival on the street level is pretty tough. So the common people are just visitors there. But the life prevailed. It moved up to the rooftops. And this is where the plants are flourishing and blooming in the post-apocalyptic landscape. And this is where people build and develop the new world of Dying Light 2. Electricity producing windmills and safe zones for the player. And in a way, in a metaphorical sense, the rooftops are the new default ground floor, the level 0. And trip to the streets is, in a way, a trip underground, a -1 of sorts. Just
So
the
here's what you do.
corpse
You just
of,
level everything
of
out
a
on the
lost
rooftops,
civilization.
and then that's now the ground.
Yeah, to say the least. I can't imagine being a citizen living in that city, let alone being a player, and how challenging that's going to be.
Yeah, and hold that thought. Thank you very much for joining us today. But it's now time to introduce our next guests.
There's just one guy I want to see that he just talks so much shit about people.
With us now are Bartosz and Peter. And guys, I have one question about the open world in Dying Light 2. How big is it?
It's pretty big.
We know that.
Thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, of course. The map in Dying Light 2 is divided into 2 huge regions and several zones.
Okay.
There are plenty leftovers from the lost civilization for you to scavenge. But we didn't want our players to perceive the map only horizontally, so we see the map as a multi-level 3D world that supports your traversal and helps you solve parkour puzzles.
Yes, in-house we call it multi-layer open world exploration. And you know, the movement system from Dying Light 1, we remove every restriction from the player. You can move everywhere you want, how you want to do it. And when I think about it, I think that was a big challenge for us to create the geometry that support all of that. And we did it, and I think we did it well. Doing the same thing in Dying Light 2 wasn't our goal. We want to make one or more step forward to surprise the
So what we're gonna do is make the grappling hook suck.
The number of parkour moves.
Doubled. And I mean, it's not like there was a shortage in Dying Light 1, so what?
Yes, the
Now I feel
iconic
like
Dying Light
Tarzan
1
instead of a
parkour
badass.
is essential there.
Oh,
We
look, he
improved
just
it.
did it. He
We
just
doubled the
Spider-Man
number
with
of
it.
parkour
So they
moves.
lied.
The players will see over 3,000 different parkour animations, from the basic move, through the tricks, to the small little tasty details there that you can see it.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop you there, but don't hate me because in the next episode, we're going to be talking more about parkour and how the team have managed to make an authentic urban running experience in Dying Light 2.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the information. Bartosz, Peter, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the last and arguably the most important question I'm sure you have
Tell me.
is when is the release date?
Yeah, that is a very, 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 very important question.
And luckily, we have the answer. And that answer is the 7th of
Oh,
December.
fuck yourself.
Waited years to say that out loud. And now that we know the release date of the game,
Oh,
it's time
that
for you to go
release date I
pre-order.
knew
Go to
already?
dyinglight.com/pre-order, select your platform, and then hit pre-order. And there you go.
That was already
Congratulations.
spoiled
You
on
just
the
pre-ordered
internet?
one of the most anticipated games of this year. Go you.
Well, might as well forget about the game then. Until then.
Oh, wow.
Who knows if I'll be alive.
Fun.
Well, I've got good news for you then, because this official figurine is part of the collector's edition of Dying Light 2, and you can get one for yourself if you want. We'll leave like a proper unboxing of the whole set to the professionals, but we do have it all in front of us right now, so it'd be rude not to take a look. You get, in the collector's edition, a concept art book full of stunning artwork from the game. You get this steel book, which will have your game inside it, of course. And you get this interesting little sort of UV flashlight. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's
Looks like
cool.
There's all sorts of vanity elements in here, too, like some legendary skin packs, as well as all sorts of digital elements. For more information on these digital elements, please visit the pre-order website. I want this. And I want Dying Light 2.
Kind of thought you'd say that. Well, if you're feeling the same way, then I've got good news, because you can pre-order the
Good, it
collector's
says PS5.
edition. However, it is very, very limited, so you'll have to be very quick.
Rest assured, there will be plenty of the standard edition for your standard gamer, but if you're into special editions, there is a deluxe edition of Dying Light 2 with a steel book, legendary pack, and a digital soundtrack, and much, much more.
So to summarize, that's 3 different editions that you can buy depending on what you're after.
I'm after the game now.
And if you just can't wait until release to get immersed in the world of Dying Light 2, then why don't you go check out the Techland Gamers and Goodies website for more info.
Yeah, this is a program for all gamers, whether or not you want updates on Dying Light 2 with the news, or you want Dying Light 2 items in Dying Light 1. Everyone's gonna find something they like there.
Yep, and this is just an initial offering as well. Check back later for even more details, more information, and we'll be going through it in future episodes as well.
That's it. Don't forget to pre-order the game and take part in our contests. The details are on the game's website.
And here's a sneak peek at the topic of the next episode. Thank you for watching, and stay safe out there. Bye!
See ya!
Next episode better be like next week. I don't know how to feel about it.
Well, I knew the release date hours ago.
Hour and a half till the Horizon live stream.
It's been so long, I feel like I could care less about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Content, Sag.